I'm thrilled to introduce a beer can appreciation connoisseur, Mr. Dan Kowalczyk, who will share about his collection.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am a beer can aficionado, and I like beer because beer is the cause of and cure for all of life's problems. Okay,
Bum.
so anyway, as a youngster growing up in the mid 70s, one of the things to do for cool kids was collect beer cans, and I did. So at one point in my life, I had about 300 cans, and all the neighborhood kids used to find them, trade them, and display them proudly in our houses and basements. And as you can see, I've got quite a few lined up here, and quite a few more lined up there. Yes.
It's quite a few cans.
Okay. So we'll go into a bit of quick history about beers and cans and all that stuff. So, not sure if you guys are aware of this, but most beer, old and new, is and was produced by the original brewmeisters from Germany, Austria, and that part of Europe. That's where it was invented. In 1516, the Reinheitsgebot was a German purity law that was put into effect, and it is still in place and in full effect today. The Reinheitsgebot protects that you only use barley, hops, water, and yeast in the brewing of beer. Now, how much barley, how much hops, how much yeast do you use? That's entirely up to the brewmaster. But the brewmaster is responsible for recording exactly how much of those ingredients he uses in his beer, and he patents that. And once that's been patented, you cannot change that because that is a patent. Nobody can steal it, nobody can borrow it, all they can do is buy it from you. And once you relinquish that patent belongs to the buyer, but he has to maintain it. It cannot be changed. Thanks to the Reinheitsgebot. Okay? So, let's go into some of the cans that I have. I'm going to go over some cans here. I've got a novelty beer can. It's called Old Frothing Slosh. As you can see, there's a beautiful young lady on the label. Okay. You saw a lot of these novelty beers in the 70s because in the 70s there was a lot of deregulation when it came to beer manufacturing. Okay. So a lot of guys would open up these little microbreweries, brew their own beer, and sell the patent. Make a quick buck, close down the brewery, and they go away a rich man. So this is a result of a novelty beer. It was in production for 1 year. That's it. And I have the can. Let's go into some celebrity beers, okay? 1975 Pittsburgh Steelers, winners of the Super Bowl. They got their faces plastered on the Iron City beer can from that year. And I got the can.
Go Browns.
For you Chicago people, I'm sure you'll recognize this gem, Falstaff beer. If you hearken back to the days of the Chicago White Sox and their twilight doubleheaders when Harry Carey was their broadcaster, who was drinking Falstaff beer in the broadcast booth? Harry Carey. Okay? Another iconic Chicago legendary beer. Billy beer. God rest Jimmy Carter, who had just passed away. Well, when Jimmy Carter took office back in the 70s, his brother Billy, who was not quite as sharp and bright, partnered himself with a local brewery, and he put his name on a beer can. And I got the can, and it's never been opened.
Ooh.
Okay? This is the most recent addition to my collection. It's called Real American Beer. And if you look closely at the can, that looks a lot like Hulk Hogan. That's because it is Hulk Hogan. It's his beer. He put his name on it, and it's actually not too bad. It's a light beer. It tastes like a Schlitz if you guys are into heavy beers that taste like light beers. But it's a pretty good beer. This is one of the 12 cans that Schmidt beer produced back in the 70s. What was unique about the Schmidt Brewery Company is their beer was really crap, but they had some awesome cans, and they all had various winter outdoor scenes, ice fishing, snowmobiling, skiing, you know, that kind of stuff. So that's what kind of personified the Schmidt Brewing Company, not because of their lousy beer, but because they had cool cans. At one time, I had all 12. Now I only have 4. So if you know anybody with the other 6, I'm looking to buy them. Okay? Everybody out there knows Hams. It's still made. It's still the same recipe. And I think it's pretty tasty. So I usually buy it on sale at the local liquor store when I see a case of 24 or a 30 pack. This, by the way, is a 1974 version of the can. It's bonded steel. It's not aluminum. It's a pretty heavy duty can, and it's in perfect shape, and I have it. The Hams Keg, which was a draft beer. This is also a bonded steel can from the early to mid 70s. Very tasty beer. It's a draft beer, so it had that much more carbon dioxide in it. Usually gives people a headache, but it is a cool can, and I have it. I also have a number of beer cans from our neighbors north of the border up in Canada. Okay, this is Labatt Blue. If you look at the label, it says Labatt Blue in English. If you turn it around, it says Labatt Blue in French, because up in Canada they speak both languages, so you know, they got to make it easy enough for both people to read. Yeah, so that's a Canadian beer. My lovely wife Rochelle will be bringing these cans and some additional gems to show to you all at a time in the very near future. So I really hope you enjoy my presentation. I hope you like my cans. And remember, beer is the cause of and cure for all of life's problems.
Oh, but